Mallards, it is Thursday.
Yeah?
Yep.
The sprinklers were on.
The sprinklers were on. Mel's right. I am at Mel and Raymond's because Raymond and I are going to do a Darkfield radio show, one called Visitors that involves us sitting in the living room. Megan and Amanda are also doing the same show at the same time at my house. And then I'm going to try Eternal, the show where you lay in a bed by yourself. So I'm very excited for a couple more Darkfield radio shows, and we'll check in with you when this one is over. Raymond and I just finished this. I'm gonna ask Megan and Amanda to record a video too. It was creepy. Okay, so my question is, were you Gene or were you Alex?
I was Alex.
Okay, because I couldn't decide if the audio was different for the two of us, because I was also Alex.
Oh.
And you were Gene. But clearly like that, so that's interesting. So it is, but the audio is different because it didn't tell you to get up and leave at the same time it told me. Which is interesting.
At the end, they told me, because I was supposed to be Alex, that the Gene always dies.
Yeah, okay.
Which would explain why you thought I was dead and I thought you were dead.
Yeah. But like when the bit where they were assigning us parts happened, okay, so two ghosts come to visit, Gene and Alex, and they are finding the new Gene and the new Alex. And they're like whispering really close to my ears that I'm Alex, and then I can hear them across the room telling Raymond that he's Gene, but clearly you could hear the same thing.
Yeah.
However, the tracks are different because I was told to get up, go into another room and shut the door, and you were told
to get up, stand with my back against the door, and just stand there with my eyes closed.
Yeah. And so, like, that's interesting. And also, I felt you when you showed up because, like, at the time you show up, so my track is saying, I'm going to reach out and touch you. And then you're back at the door, and I almost screamed. Freaky. What did you think of the surround sound audio effects?
It was very impressive. I didn't expect it to be so, like, 3D around you. You could, like, almost feel every time they like got up behind you and started whispering in your ear, you could almost like feel it, like their breath on you.
It was really cool. Like creepy. It was kind of fun to have a 2-track. So whereas the last show I did, I could very easily tell that we were listening to the same thing, I thought we were hearing completely different stuff. So it's interesting because we were at least a little bit. But it's interesting that we were like hearing the same stuff sometimes and different stuff other times. But it was really cool. And the way that they do distance is really neat. Like the way that I could hear her whispering in my ear that I was Alex. And then like very clearly hear like across the room from me, them talking to you. To the point where like there was a moment where I was like, am I actually hearing that? Or Raymond's headphones like really loud for some reason.
I thought the same thing. Because like when they had me standing up against the door, it sounded like I could hear you, like hear your headphones coming through the door, and I'm like, there's no way.
Correct. I was like, that's not possible. I've seen Raymond's earbuds. Yeah, it's very well done. And I'm about to go lay in a bed and do the Eternal show. And I will let you know how that goes. But thanks for doing the show with me, Raymond. It was fun.
Yeah.
I finished the other Darkfield radio show, Eternal, and now I'm back home. This one was different, so it's a single person laying in bed, and it is a man who is in a house that is haunted, ? Or maybe he's haunting your house. I felt like things were a little less clear with this, but he's essentially talking about how he wants to talk to you about the fact that the sounds in the house aren't illusions, and you're not going crazy like they're actually there. And he's definitely a vampire. And he's absolutely offering you the opportunity to become a vampire if you want to. Just like open the door and let him in. But it also has this strange time loop quality where he keeps like getting up out of bed and looking for his cell phone and then walking around and then asking in the rooms and then being back in bed and then getting up and looking for his phone. And that was sort of interesting. So it's like a weird mixture of eternal, like, I'm just a vampire and I'm going to live in an eternal life, versus like being stuck in the same place and doing the same thing eternally, like a ghost that's like stuck in a loop. So I wasn't entirely sure what was happening with that. Also, I'm definitely a little tired, and that one in particular, especially the cyclical nature of it, sort of like, and the fact that you're laying in bed with all the lights off, kind of lulled me into a half sleep, which is also one of the things that he talks about, you know, being in that state where you're half asleep, but you can still hear everything all the time. And so it was weird. Like, that one was maybe the weirdest of all of them, but it was still really cool, and the sounds are really good. The soundscape is really, really good. I would recommend, if you're gonna do that one, if you can position yourself in a room where the door to the room is off. Like, when you're laying in the bed, the door to your room is off to the left. That is helpful. I think it really helps with the soundscape, because in the room that I was in, the door was off to my right, but like all of the door noises happen to the left, which isn't necessarily the worst. When your eyes are closed, you can sort of forget that bit, but I think it does add to the atmosphere to have it be that way. But man, whew, just two pretty creepy and very fun shows. Again, there will be a link down there to Darkfield Radio. You should absolutely check them out, and I'll see you tomorrow.